You did everything right. You bought healthy fruit trees from a trusted nursery. You followed each instruction carefully. You improved your soil with compost. You adjusted the pH. You watered on schedule. Gave those trees your attention, season after season, and still, they struggled. Leaves turned pale. Growth slowed. Fruit never came. After a few years, the trees were gone. At the same time, something very different was happening in other places. On dry hillsides, in rocky ground, even in soil that looked almost lifeless. Fruit trees were growing. Not just surviving, but producing. So it raises a quiet question. What if the soil was never the real problem? There is a long history of trees growing in conditions we would not expect before modern gardening advice. People planted what worked. They observed, they adapted, they learned which trees matched their land, instead of trying to change the land to match the tree. Some of those lessons have been forgotten. Stay with me, because one of the trees we will talk about was so dependable that people planted it across very difficult land, from one region to another, trusting it to grow where little else would. Before explaining why this happened, it helps to understand how trees respond to their environment. When a fruit tree grows in rich soil, something interesting often happens. The tree focuses on growing leaves and branches. It becomes full and green, but fruit production can slow down. The tree does not feel pressure to reproduce. In poor soil, the situation changes. Resources are limited. The tree responds by putting more energy into fruit. This is how it ensures its survival. The fruit carries seeds. The seeds carry the next generation. This is a simple cause and effect. More comfort does not always lead to more fruit. Another thing to consider is root behavior. In loose, well-fed soil, roots stay near the surface. They do not need to search. But in harder or poorer soil, roots grow deeper and wider. They explore. They become stronger. Over time, this can make the tree more resilient. So instead of asking, how can I fix my soil? It may be more helpful to ask, which tree is already suited to this soil? Let us take a calm look at a group of trees that have shown this ability over many years. Some of them may already grow quietly in your region. Others may be less familiar. But each one offers a small shift in thinking. The first tree is one that older generations rarely ignored. Mulberry trees have a quiet strength. They do not demand perfect conditions. They do not rely on careful soil preparation. Simply grow. They can handle heavy clay that holds water. They can also manage sandy soil that drains quickly. Poor nutrition does not stop them. This flexibility comes from how the tree has adapted over time. It does not depend on a narrow set of conditions. Instead, it adjusts. Another gentle advantage is how quickly it begins to produce fruit. In a few years, you may begin to see small harvests. The fruit itself is soft and delicate. That is why it is rarely found in markets. It does not travel well, but when picked fresh, it offers a simple sweetness. For someone who has tried other trees without success, mulberry often brings a sense of ease. It asks for very little. It rewards patience. As we move to the next tree, the pattern becomes even more interesting. Fig trees have a long relationship with dry, rocky land. In some regions, you can see them growing from cracks in stone walls. At first glance, it seems unlikely. There is very little soil, yet the tree continues. The reason lies in how figs respond to stress. When conditions are limited, the tree directs more energy into fruit. Fruit becomes richer in flavor. In contrast, when soil is very rich, the tree may produce many leaves, but fewer figs. This can feel surprising at first, but it follows the same idea we mentioned earlier. Small challenge encourages reproduction. Fig trees also bring a sense of simplicity. Many varieties do not require a second tree for pollination. One tree can be enough. If your soil is rocky or dry, this may not be a barrier. It may actually support better fruit. Moving gently forward, we come to a tree that has long been part of warm, dry landscapes. Pomegranate. This tree did not need to adapt to harsh conditions later. It developed within them. It can tolerate soil that contains salts. It can handle dry periods once its roots are established. Structure allows it to conserve water. The flowers appear bright and noticeable, even before the tree reaches full maturity. Over time, these flowers turn into fruit with a firm outer skin and jewel-like seeds inside. What matters here is not just survival, but steadiness. The tree continues without demanding constant attention. If your land feels dry or difficult, this tree may already be suited to it. Now we move to a tree that many people are only beginning to rediscover: jujube, in some parts of the world. This tree has been valued for a very long time. It grows in conditions where water is limited and soil is not rich. Its roots explore deeply. Its leaves are small and efficient, does not lose water easily. The fruit develops even when the tree receives little care. Over time, it becomes sweet and slightly firm, sometimes compared to a mix between an apple and a date. One quiet benefit of jujube is how little it asks. It does not require frequent watering once established. It does not depend on rich soil. For those who prefer a more hands-off approach, this can feel reassuring. Next, 8. We come to a tree that prefers a very different environment: pawpaw. This tree grows naturally in areas where the soil stays moist. It often appears along forest edges or near streams. Unlike many fruit trees, it does not require full sunlight. It can grow in partial shade. This makes it useful in spaces where light is filtered through other plants. The soil in these areas is often heavy and slow to drain. Many fruit trees struggle here. But pawpaw has adapted to these conditions. Its fruit is soft and has a smooth texture. Some describe it as similar to a custard. To support good fruiting, it is helpful to have more than one tree. This allows for natural pollination. If your soil tends to stay wet in certain seasons, this may not be a limitation. It may be an invitation to choose differently. As we continue, elderberry offers another perspective. This plant grows quickly, fills space. It responds well to moisture. In areas where water collects or drainage is slow, elderberry often grows with ease. It does not resist these conditions. It uses them. The berries require cooking before use, but they are often made into syrups or preserves. What stands out is how quickly the plant becomes productive. Within a few seasons, you may begin to harvest. For those who have a damp corner in the garden, this can bring new possibility. Moving forward, serviceberry brings a quieter presence. It produces fruit early in the season. At a time when many trees are still forming blossoms, this one begins to offer small berries. It can grow in soil that is shallow or rocky. Its roots adapt to limited depth. The tree also provides gentle beauty. In spring, it produces light-colored flowers. Later, it offers fruit that resembles small berries. It does not ask for much. It simply follows its natural rhythm. Next is quince, a tree that was once common in home gardens. Over time, it became less visible, but its strengths remain. Quince can handle heavier soil. It does not struggle as much in conditions where water may linger. Its fruit is firm and often used in cooking, stores well, and has a long history in traditional recipes. The tree itself grows steadily. It does not require constant adjustment or attention. For those who prefer something reliable and familiar, quince offers a quiet return to older practices. Now we come to medlar, a tree that has almost faded from modern gardens. It has a long history, yet it is rarely seen today. One reason it was valued is its ability to grow in less than ideal soil. It does not depend on perfect conditions. The fruit requires a short period of softening after harvest. During this time, its flavor develops. This may feel different from more common fruits, but it reflects an older understanding of how food can be enjoyed. The tree itself is patient. It grows without urgency. As we continue, Cornelian cherry brings another example of resilience. Despite its name, it is not a true cherry. It belongs to a different plant family. It can handle compacted soil. This is often found in areas where the ground has been disturbed or pressed down. It also tolerates conditions near roads or built spaces. Pollution and limited soil quality do not stop it easily. The fruit is tart and often used in cooking. What matters here is the tree's ability to remain steady in places where others may Struggle now we arrive at a tree that not only grows in poor soil, but also improves it. See buckthorn? This tree has a special relationship with the soil. It works with small organisms that help fix nitrogen. This means it adds nutrients back into the ground. Over time, the soil around it can become more supportive for other plants. It can grow in sandy areas. It can tolerate salt. Spreads gradually. Its berries are bright and rich, often used in oils and preparations. For someone with very poor soil, this tree offers both growth and renewal. Next, we return to the tree mentioned earlier, persimmon. This tree was widely planted in the past because of its reliability. It grows in rocky or dry soil. Its roots reach deeply, allowing it to find water that others cannot access. It does not depend on frequent care. It continues steadily through the seasons. The fruit becomes sweeter as it ripens, especially after cooler weather. For many, this tree represents trust, performs without constant attention. Finally, we come to olive. Olive trees have been growing for a very long time. In some regions, individual trees have lived for centuries. They are often found in rocky, dry soil. Conditions that might seem difficult are actually familiar to them. Too much water or overly rich soil can reduce fruit production. The tree prefers a certain level of challenge. It grows slowly. It lives long. Produces consistently over time. This brings us back to the earlier idea. The goal is not always to improve the soil. Sometimes it is to understand it. If a place is dry, choose a tree that welcomes dryness. The soil is heavy, choose a tree that accepts it. This shift can remove much of the pressure from gardening. Instead of constant correction, there is quiet observation. Instead of forcing change, there is gentle alignment. If you are comfortable sharing, I am curious what your soil feels like when you hold it. Is it soft and loose, or firm and heavy? Sometimes that simple observation can guide better choices than any test. As we come to a close, there is one thought to carry with you. Gardens do not always improve when we do more. Sometimes they improve when we step back, notice what is already present, and choose plants that belong there. Over time, this creates a different kind of success. One that feels steady, calm, and lasting. Sometimes the garden improves when we simply step back and observe.